Mike Rogers, who's facing Abdul al-Said in the Michigan Senate race, actually spoke to AIPAC and told them not to spend money directly into the Michigan Senate race because he's worried about backlash by having millions of dollars of AIPAC funding going directly into this race. This is crazy. Keep in mind, this is a Republican. He still wants pro-Israel money. He just doesn't want the AIPAC label. So this was initially reported by Axios here, and the article states allies of Mike Rogers, Michigan's GOP nominee for the U.S. Senate, have asked AIPAC not to advertise on his behalf, triggering a rupture with the powerful but polarizing pro-Israel group. Now, it gets worse. Rogers spoke with AIPAC chair Michael Chushin in Los Angeles last week. The next day, AIPAC shelved an already cut video ad targeting Rogers' Democratic rival, outspoken Israel critic Abdul al-Said. They shelved it. There was an ad going out by AIPAC, and they shelved it. The extraordinary tension underscores how far AIPAC's political standing has fallen amid voters' anger over the war in Gaza. Even Rogers, a staunchly pro-Israel Republican, fears the group's public support could be a liability in the November 3rd election. The move by Rogers' team angered AIPAC officials. I love hearing AIPAC officials getting angry, who have spent more than $30 million to try to defeat al-Said in the Democratic primary and are prepared to spend millions more to help elect Rogers, according to people familiar with the conversation. So don't think that AIPAC is not going to put their dirty hands into this. They will. And Mike Rogers still wants their money. He's not saying, don't give me your money. He's saying, give me your money more covertly. Do it through a shell pack. That's what he's telling them. Give me a moment. I'll read it to you here. Al-Said made AIPAC a centerpiece of his successful primary campaign, using the group's spending against him to portray the Democratic opponent Haley Stevens as beholden to the pro-Israel lobby, which she is. He called Israel a rogue state, accused it of genocide and apartheid, both of which are true, has declined to say whether Israel has a right to exist as a Jewish state, shouldn't if it means being a supremacist state against Palestinians, which it is. That made defeating him a priority for AIPAC, which rarely meant major spending campaigns in general elections. Now, Rogers' team warned AIPAC before August 4th Democratic primary that it believed al-Said would beat Stevens, though AIPAC held out hope Stevens would prevail. The two sides agreed to keep talking. Weird. So AIPAC doesn't care. At the time, it didn't care whether it was Rogers or Stevens. Rogers' team warned AIPAC. So Haley Stevens was getting money through AIPAC, and then Rogers' team warned AIPAC while she was getting the money. So basically, AIPAC's like, I'm just going to give to both sides. I don't care. You guys figure it out yourselves. I'm going to give to both sides. My interest isn't whether you're a D or an R. It's whether or not you support Israel. And Haley Stevens was that same puppet. So they're fine with either. After al-Said narrowly won, AIPAC told Rogers' allies it wanted to continue its advertising offensive into the November 3rd election, but Rogers' team believed AIPAC primary ads had backfired by giving al-Said a powerful foil, one he was eager to use again. He even said it. AIPAC, if you're listening, come again and burn it again, al-Said said before his primary victory. Rogers' allies urged AIPAC to get involved without putting the money name front and center, the group's name front and center. People familiar with the talks told Axios. See, so they still want the AIPAC money. They just don't want the big AIPAC or UDP label. So what's that mean? Well, they're going to put it through a shell company, and we're going to know, because we're going to see what the hell is this shell company putting in $30 million into the election. But behind the scenes, we're not going to be able to trace the shell company directly to AIPAC. Now, we're going to know. We're going to be like, okay, guys, $30 million of dark market money. Where is this coming from? Oh, my God. It's coming from AIPAC. We're going to see that. But they want to just do it under the radar, at least, so that way maybe you can't directly say, oh, that's pro-Israel money, and use that as fact because, oh, we can't be certain. Oh, that's kind of what they're trying to make happen. One option, directing AIPAC donors to a pro-Rogers super PAC instead of the group's running its own ads, or a joint fundraising group the Rogers campaign has established with the national GOP. Rogers' team also proposed hiring AIPAC's political strategist to help guide its efforts. But AIPAC officials weren't satisfied. The group wanted a visible role in defeating Al Said and argued that because Rogers is strongly pro Israel, Al Said would tie him to the pro Israel lobbying group regardless. Direct talks between Rogers' team and AIPAC have now gone cold, prompting a broader GOP effort to broker peace. Jewish Republican donors with ties to both sides are acting as intermediaries, people familiar with the discussion said. Some national Republicans now worry that AIPAC, whose super PAC ended July with nearly $60 million in the bank, will sit out the general election entirely. That's a BS lie. That's not going to happen. AIPAC's going to pour a lot of money into any race it wants. Others say AIPAC has too much at stake to not jump into the Michigan race. There we go. And they expect the group to eventually reconcile with Rogers' team, which that will happen. The big picture. AIPAC has suffered a string of high-profile defeats in Democratic primaries. The group's latest setback was Tuesday when a candidate it had opposed won a special election for a Northern California House seat. So I think this is wonderful. I mean, perfect. Like, the more that they start to get nervous, the better. This is the same reason why, by the way, the AIPAC has been lobbying consistently to repeal the Corporate Transparency Act, which requires businesses to register their ownership information with the Financial Crimes Investigation Network. Well, that ended up getting repealed now. After AIPAC lobbied the Treasury Secretary to get rid of it, it successfully happened, at least for the Trump administration's term. It's gone now. It's shelved. So yeah, they can even have Israelis wire. They can have AIPAC wire. We won't be able to really dig deep and go back to the root of it. But we will be able to see, okay, this organization donated this much to this PAC. That we will be able to see. Then, if we copy and paste that organization's name on Google, we try to search for it, it'll be a dead end. And that'll be that. We might be able to find, of course, maybe their registered agent wherever that organization is registered, probably Delaware most likely. We might be able to find the registered agent's office, but to figure out, okay, what are the names behind that? A lot of it's going to be hidden. It's going to take some uncovering. We'll see what's available to figure out. But that's how AIPAC's kind of going about it, to hide all of that information. Reality check, Al Said's attack on AIPAC may have less potency in the November general election than when they did in the Democratic primary, where voters were more likely to be critical of Israel. That, I would say, is true. Operatives from both parties believe the Michigan race, like others in manufacturing-heavy states, is more likely to turn on voters' perceptions of the economy than their views on Israel. I welcome any and all support from the pro-Israel community, and I'm proud to have their involvement, said Rogers told Axios. So, again, it's not like he's going to be totally abandoning them. That's definitely not what's happening. He just doesn't want to he doesn't want to upset the people that are going to be, he doesn't want to reduce the chances of not getting elected. So it's all for that reason only. But to know now that even Republicans are getting concerned about that, I would say is a massive win. So here it is. Let me read the next part to you guys. We appreciate Mike Rogers' welcoming of pro-Israel support. Our members are highly motivated to be involved in this race, and we will be looking at every option to make the case that Al Said's policies are bad for Michigan and bad for America, AIPAC spokesperson Doreen Souza said. Crazy. So we'll just have to wait and see how things unfold moving forward. It's nice to know that people are now AIPAC is starting to really lose their minds over this. I really love to see it on social media. AIPAC Tracker just kind of posted that exact thing, stating what's going on. Mike Rogers is coordinating with AIPAC in Michigan. Wow, this is where we are. AIPAC is such a burden for candidates, even traditional Republican ones such as Mike Rogers, that his allies asked AIPAC not to advertise. AIPAC's era is coming to an undignified end. Job's not done. Soundbiter say to that. That's funny. So yeah, I love to see it. I love to see how, it's becoming so toxic. Abdul HQ, we made AIPAC so toxic, not even the most corrupt MAGA candidates will touch it. Crazy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, I'd appreciate it if you click the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up as well. It helps me reach more people like you. If you want to support my work and support my channel, one of the best ways you can do that is by joining as a member. If you click the join button below next to the subscribe button, you can join as a member now. You get to see member-only videos from me and it allows me to do this as a full-time job for you guys. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye, everybody.